Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. We're not going to start with chapstick because we got stuff going on. We're just playing in makeup today. These are swatches from, this is, which way? Hourglass Tiger palette. Hourglass Snake palette. Because I wanted to see if there were dupes because I've been seeing some comparisons and they were dupes. I'm not going to get into the nuances and why things may show up different because that'll be in that video. I'm gonna try and schedule it where you'll see that one first so that this one will make sense. Maybe I'll post them the same. No, I don't know. This video you see from the title, y'all, I done did the thing. I have, you know from the title, so I don't know why I'm acting the way I'm acting. Mothership #7 Divine Rose. And I know I kept saying I stayed away from them, you know, the pink palettes, blah, 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 but they're not just straight pink, you know what I mean? And so I kept looking at it. What finally made me try it, and I want to show it to you, but I don't want to not go over like all this stuff I had precariously set up over here. What made me finally decide to get it, or sell Ulta points, and you'll have heard about that in that video, was Subliminal. Because I kept looking at Subliminal thinking this is cool tone. I don't like me in cool tones, but this pulls neutral on me, and I love every single freaking look I did with this palette. So when I kept looking at Divine Rose 7, I'm like, you know what? It might surprise me like Subliminal did, because it does look like it's cool tone, right? And pinks aren't my colors, but then I kept looking at it like it's not just a straight Barbie pink palette, I don't think. And I could look at it in person and be like, why did I get it? Can I return it? So I did get it from Ulta. This is how the box came. Because if you're familiar with Ulta, they ship stuff in a white bubble envelope. Surprisingly, they did have bubble wrap around it, but you can tell they just wrapped it. Like it was just like a little kid just took bubble wrap and just... But, you know, kudos to Ulta, because if y'all know, they just put stuff in the bubble wrap mailer and that's it. And so I was expecting something to be broken. And then, you know, I saw the bubble wrap around this and I'm like, okay. But then this was already jacked up. So I'm just like, I don't know why I've been snorting like that lately. So when I opened it, just to make sure nothing was broken or anything, I just went ahead and opened it from this side since this was already jacked up from being in the bubble wrapper mailer thing. And so I did just peek at it and I put it back in the box because I wanted to wait to the live when I did the haul and all of that before I got into it. I didn't take the plastic off. Am I going to do that now? Am I going to keep this? But yeah, we're going to take the plastic off. If I can keep sunless induction, which I'm still sometimes like, I don't know, but let's... That is so satisfying. And so soon I will have a label on it. The PAO for the motherships are 18 months, it says on the back. And when I did open it to check it, everything was intact. And I did cut up the name card so it can fit in here, not only to cover the mirror so you're not blinded, but to also lay over the shadows, close it up. And then when I'm doing a look, I put the card up here and I can tell you, okay, this is this shadow, that shadow. So I looked at this and when I first looked at it, I'm like, this is okay. It's not straight pink. And I knew that as I kept looking at it. And I really, I was questioning myself, like, why do I want Divine Rose 7? And my answer to myself, because I kept going back and forth, like I did with Subliminal. And looking at Subliminal, I loved every shade. I loved every look that I did in that palette. And so I'm looking at this like, this may work for me too. Because it's the same vibe minus these. Like, this is sort of like that cool tone, leaning neutral type vibe. It may be more cool tone than... Well, to me, Subliminal did look cool tone, but then when I put it on, it leaned neutral, and that's because of my undertone. But looking at this, I'm like, I can rock this little 6-pan and pop one of the Celestial shades. And these do look like they're baked, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And so I was looking at this, and I'm like, this... I do like dark, I like smoky, you know, swamp water, messy grunge and all of that. But I'm like, I really believe I can work with this. And I was pleasantly surprised Because when I see these in store, they're always dusty and grubby, and the Celestial shades usually have holes in them, and they're flaky because people, you know, swatching and digging in it all day. And so when I looked at it, when I opened it to make sure nothing was cracked, which I'm glad it wasn't, or broken, I think this is a beautiful palette. But what made me go back and forth about it was, you know, looking at it online, and I'm just like, the color story, you know, them cool tones, I don't know. But then I really like her metallics and her matte formulas. I like the Celestial shades that are not the chunky monkey ones. And I do think these are baked. These don't look like chunky monkeys, which means I will most likely like using them and enjoy using them. And so I kept going back and forth because I do really like her Mothership formula. And some of her other palettes, previous years, the holiday palettes, they did not work for me. Like, they just did not. But I have never had a problem with the Motherships, except if the flaky shades, the flakes got in my eyes. But other than that, I have never had any problems with the Motherships. And so I realized, for me, I just need to stick with the Motherships. And a few of her quints I really like because the formula is creamy. I don't like the chunky monkeys in there either. I don't like the flaky shadows. But so for me, it's going to primarily just be the Mothership. So what we're going to do today, since we're painting the face, this look will already have been live on my channel somewhere. And then I did a video of these swatches. And I'm like, since the face is painted, we're going to paint some more and go ahead and swatch this palette. And I do have a reel for this look. When it airs here on YouTube, it'll air. I'll post that on Instagram, and the same with these swatches. And so once we swatch this, I'll do another reel / short and do that. And so I'll be in multiple places. So we're going to use sponge tip applicators. That's what I use for these up here. Let me know. It's only 10, 9. These are double-sided, but each side has 2. So these are 12, and I only need 10. But we're going to just get into it. And I am curious of how these are going to show up. Now, granted, I usually do forehead swatches because that's closest to my eyelids. My forehead is not the same undertone as my cheek area, so stuff is going to look a little different. So I think we may do top row here and bottom row here, just so my face isn't looking lopsided as far as color, because I don't have anything else to swatch today. So we're going to go into Skin Show Nude, this, I don't know what I was going to say, this shade right here. And so what I'm doing is, with the sponge tip, I am swirling it. And I'm going to go a little bit more, because I want to coat more of the sponge tip. So we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me just put it here. So that is Skin Show Nude. Most of her Skin Show type shades are too bright and icy for me. A couple of them I tried as highlighters, and I like them as highlighters. But then I'm also experimenting with, this blends out nice though. I should have put it right here. I have been experimenting with using, layering, because I don't usually layer a lot, but lately I have been kind of doing that. For Loria, this shade right here, and it looks more taupey in person. I just stuck my finger in it. It looks more taupey in person, but it's showing up like a cool lavender taupe, I guess. I'm not good at describing colors, and yet I still keep trying. So we're nothing beats a failure. Nothing beats a try except a failure. What is that saying? Somebody let me know below. Nothing beats a try but a fail. That's what it is. Nothing beats a try but a fail. That ain't even right either. How does that saying go? I don't know. Somebody let me know. So this is Valoria, if I'm pronouncing it right. I do have one blush, highlighter, bronzer, setting powder, finishing powder. You know what? That's not a bad shade for me, because my concern was some cool tones make me look dusty. This one in the middle is Sable Bronze. So we're going to go into this one, and we're going to swirl. I love the formula of her 10 pan Motherships. her holiday ones, we don't get along. Some people say the same formula. My skin tells me otherwise. So that is that shade. I want to do it wider. If I do have enough brushes to have used brushes, but who want to be washing 10 more brushes on top of the brushes for this look? And that's why there's sponge tips for that too. This is nice. It says bronze sable, but it's looking a little greenish to me. Like a bronzy green or something or other. Let me know if that's what you're seeing too. And again, I have a bunch of stuff on my face already. And how things show up on you depends on your complexion and undertone. And my cheek area leans neutral, whereas my forehead and my chin and my under eye lean olive. But I'm golden overall. I know, I'm just completely weird. I know. Refined Gold 002. That's this shade. So this is one of the celestial shades. I do believe it's baked. Like there is no kick up. You can't see, I apologize. So I'm swirling, but there's no kick up. There's not anything happening, but it's going on the sponge. So actually we're going to put this down here. This is interesting. I do prefer her baked formula for her celestial shades because they're not the chunky monkeys. I have learned to work with the chunky monkeys. I have learned to work with the flakes. I would prefer not to, but I have learned to work with them, and I no longer loathe them. I don't love them, but I don't loathe them like I used to. So that is Refined Gold 002. This right here. So that sponge tip set is done. We've used all 4 of those. Now we're going to go into Iridescent Pink 003. Let me see in the mirror if it's showing up. Oh, shoot. I didn't take off the... Woo! To see if it shows a shift. Because sometimes in the mirror it will, but it's not. So I'm looking at this shade here, which says... Also trying to get the glare off. There's a hint of pink I'm seeing up here in the mirror for that shade. And again, it says Iridescent Pink 003. So, throw that paper in my makeup bag trash. And in person, when I tilt it, I do see some pink, but on your end, I don't think it's showing up. Like maybe right here, there's a hint of pink, but then as I turn it more, like it's not. And so we're going to take this. Y'all, if this hits me in my eyeball, that is not going to be good. I like this formula because it is not, it's not kicking up, it's not flaking up, like it's, and it's here. You know what? I'm actually getting excited. Ow! What scratched me? What the hell just scratched my face? Was it the tip of the sponge tip? What the hell was that? I swiped it and something scratched me. That was so weird. That was very weird. Like, what was that? I think it's a sponge tip because I feel something now scratching me. So this, I think, would make me look borderline ashy dusty. I'm liking how this would look with this. If this didn't make me look ashy dusty, this would be a good 2 shadow look right here as well. Okay. So we're going to move down to this bottom row, Extreme Mahogany. And we're going to swirl. This one, because it is a matte, I can see the swirl in it. And I know you cannot. So let me just move along. So we're going to put this over here. That's so rich. I don't even need to put more of that because I know you can clearly see that. The lighter shades, I was putting a wider swatch so you can see more of the color. What is wrong with this sponge tip applicator? This is feeling weird. That is rich. Wow. Okay. And that was weird. This is Lovelace, this shade here. And so we're going to just do the same thing we've been doing, and we're just going to swirl. That is what that looks like. The only downside to doing my cheeks is that you're not going to be able to see them in a row. So I do apologize if that's your preference. I would have done them on my forehead, but I got stuff up there. And since I was painting my face and having fun playing the makeup, I'm like, I'm not going to do a whole separate video. We're just going to keep painting the face. This would look nice too with this one and this one, I think. And that's the downside, as I was saying. I could have just went like straight across my chin, I guess. Okie dokie. So, Rose Dusk, this shade here. You know what? I can say I'm glad that I got this palette. I can really say that. And I was really hoping it was going to affect me the same way that Subliminal did. But I am liking these tones. Like, they're not making me look dusty or ashy. And they are showing up quite nicely. They're smooth as their 10-pan Mothership shadows are. And I do believe this is the bake formula for the Celestial shades, which is my favorite Celestial shade formula. I do like the Celestial shade formula in Sunlit Seduction, but just that palette as a whole, I'm just like, it's just not my color story. And even though I didn't think Subliminal was not, but the way it pulls on me, it is. And I can get smoke out of it too. That's the main thing. So that's it for this sponge tip applicator. So we're gonna take a fresh one. You know what? I'm liking this. So now we're gonna take VR Rose Venus, this shade here, and this is heavy. My fingertips is starting to feel like, girl, put it down. So we're going to just swirl. I was a little aggressive, so it chunked a little bit, so I'm just pressing it in. We're going to put this down here. I was wondering if this was a dual chrome, because it doesn't look like it's shifting in the pan. But you know what? Looking at it like, oh, it's a certain angle. Like this, I'm seeing like a dusty gold. And looking in my viewfinder, I'm seeing like a hot pink. And so it is showing up like a pinky gold. That is nice. What? You see this? It's pink and then it's gold. Let me see if the shift will show up in the mirror without blinding you. I'm gonna hold it upside down. That's not going to work, is it? This shade right here is this shade. So it's looking gold. And when you look in the mirror, you see the pink. So pink and gold, that's this shade. So why that top? Trying to get the glare off too. This top one is not showing the shift in the mirror, but this one is. Interesting. Interesting. I like that. I'm thinking of, that shift is nice. That would look nice with this. Outer lid, center lid, inside, or put this outer corner, put this on the lid, layer it with that, and then maybe put this just on like your tear duct. All right, I'm seeing looks already. This is good. This is good, because usually I'm just like, I don't know what the hell. Astral Solstice, this shade right here in the corner. Yeah, y'all, I'm not one of them people that I can just pick up a palette and be like, ooh. So when I like just start seeing looks, I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna rock it. So this is this one. And this one, it's kind of not there. So I don't know. And it seems to be a little flaky. Not flaky in the pan, but on the sponge tip, it's not as smooth as the other ones. And it's not really showing up. That looks a little dusty. That looks a little dusty, like how this one is a little dusty. We're going to take this and put that right here, because I just want to see if it's going to look different on a different area. This would be, for me, just inner corner, because it's not, like here it's not even a color, but then it's just like a little bit of shine. Looks like a blue lavender iridescent. But like over here, you don't see anything. Just maybe like a little like shimmer tan. So that's interesting that this shade is this shade. Yeah. Or maybe brown bone if I want to be funky. So that is this entire palette. Top row from here to here, and then these two, and the bottom row starting from here, these three, and then these two down here. This one is interesting. And I know it does have to do with your angles, but even looking down here in the mirror, this is like almost not there. It's just like a shimmer, a shine. This, I was going to say it would be a good highlight, but for my undertone, it wouldn't, because my undertone is warm. This would make me look ashy if I used it as a highlighter. But if you're a cool undertone person, I think this would be an amazing highlighter for you, even though it is like a dual chrome type thing. Yeah, I think that would be a good highlighter for you. This may be a good highlighter for me. What shade is that? That's this one. Because it's there but not there, a little bit of shine. Like, look at this right here. You see what I'm saying? But that is it for this palette. I am excited for it, and it excites me even more when I go back and forth about something for like months, and months. And then I finally get it, and it's like, yeah. We're going to rock it. So we're going to be busting out some looks with this. See what we're going to do with it. Hopefully I like all the looks like I liked all the looks I did with Subliminal. And we're just going to see. We're going to see. I am glad to have it. It's not a pink palette. It's not a pink palette. And I kept thinking, oh, pink mauvies. But we'll see. So I'm okay with being proven wrong, because trolls are not always right. We're not. So thank you for being here. Let me know your thoughts on this palette, if you have it, if you don't, if you have it, if you liked it, if you had it because you didn't like it so you got rid of it. Let me know that too. And once I do start doing looks with this, it will be in a playlist. And so if you want to just browse through that. Meanwhile, I do have a playlist for all of my other motherships and my Pat McGrath Quints and Quads and all of that. So feel free to just browse around and see what I've been doing with the Mothership and the Pat McGrath stuff that I have, blushes, bronzers, and highlighters, that type of thing. So that is going to be it for this video. Thank you for being here, and you will see me in the next video. If you made it this far, thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please do like, share, comment, join. There's a lot of information down in the description box for you to read, and I've already mentioned I have a ton of playlists for you to go through. And I appreciate you all for being here. And so, as always, self-acceptance, self-love. That is the Crazy Troll Nation way. Thank you, and you will see me soon.